Hi, and welcome to Bead Mosaics. I'm Sabrina Frey, and I am a professional bead artist, and I am going to show you today how I make these beautiful purple flowers on this mosaic piece. Now, to start this process, I use pre-strung beads, and you can purchase them. They come in hanks, or you can string them yourself. It's completely up to you. I personally don't like spending my time stringing beads, but I will if I need a specific color. But here, what I am doing is using these pre-strung beads as the outline to the flowers. And this allows kind of a more seamless look. I have done it with other materials in the past, so I do try to make a variety, and it depends on the piece as to what's most appropriate. But here I'm using glass Rochelle beads that, again, they come on hanks. They are pre-strung, and what I'm doing is putting the outline down with the glue gun. It's called an air pen, and it is a glue gun that allows me to make really specific lines to lay these on without the glue getting goopy. And so what I do is I lay it down on the outlines that I created ahead of time, and you're watching me pull the strings out of the beads. And the reason that I pull the string out, there's a couple of reasons. One, sometimes the string can change the colors of the bead, and also two, sometimes when you try to cut that string, it actually snags it, makes it a little harder to work with. When you pull the string out, you kind of gain more control over the beads. Some people prefer leaving it in. Fine, whatever you want to do, I'm okay with that. Here I'm also using green bugle beads for the bottom part and the leaves on the flowers. Same technique and same method. So now we have the outlines, and these outlines need to set for a long time. Hi, and welcome back. We're going to be finishing up these flowers today, and this is actually a fairly easy process once you have the outlines done. A few tips though, I am using multiple shades of purple here, even though I used some purple painted highlights in the background to add some intensity. I am using multiple shades of purple within that. And the key here is, number one, make sure that your outlines are completely dry. I typically wait overnight and wait till the next day because if you add the wet glue mixture, it will move those beads around if they're not 100% dry. And it will moisten them, but it won't loosen them unless the original glue mixture, the original glue is not dried out. So be careful of that. The other thing is once you have the sections filled, you can go ahead and pour in your pre-mixed skinny glue mixture. And just fill it to the brim and let it sit at least overnight. If you live in a humid environment, it might take 2 days to dry completely. You want to make sure that you don't overfill the beads in these sections. The reason I'm using the tweezers is to make sure that the layer is flat. It's dense, but it's not overfilled. If it's overfilled, the beads will travel and they will stack, and you'll have more work later, or it'll look sloppy. So just some things to keep in mind. I'm going to continue to fill the rest of these channels up with the green beads here in a second, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the glue that I'm using. So when these channels are full, you're going to pour in a glue mix. It is called Sabrina's Skinny Glue. It's a special mixture that I developed in order to do this technique, so that the beads don't move around and the glue will settle at the bottom so that it doesn't leave a residue on the top of the product for when you're done. And the drying process will take a day, probably 2 days to dry completely. If you're interested in seeing more or want to learn more of my techniques, you can subscribe to this channel, or you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram for current works. And if you want to purchase any of my products, you can find them at my website, which is listed above. Thanks, and have a great day.